Mr. Babushkin, let me come to you first. You know, for every step forward towards peace, it seems to be one step back. At the moment, the situation in the Donbass region is a big concern. Is it Russia's belief at this juncture that a declaration of independence for the Donbass region might be a way to ensure that there is no wider conflict in Ukraine?
Well, it's difficult to say, but we can see that the situation is really deteriorating. Unfortunately, there is a continuous ceasefire violations from the Ukrainian side. So during the days yesterday and the day before yesterday, they violated the ceasefire regime more than 100 times. There is also a mass gathering of troops on that side, and they know that the US and other Western partners are pumping Ukraine with thousands of tons of weapons, including lethal weapons, including heavy weapons, and certainly it is playing a dangerous, provoking role for the Kiev authorities to launch its offensive against these two regions.
Right.
Certainly, this situation is being used, this confrontation in order to justify these military actions and not to implement the Minsk agreements.
Is Russia at this juncture still serious about holding talks? That's what people would like to know.
Russia is always serious. So, and talks should be really, forward-looking and listening to each other, because what we hear right now is just mass propaganda about the Russian invasion, which never happened in all the dates which were announced before by the Western media, even by the Western officials. So we would then probably suggest to provide us with the calendar of the Russian invasion so that we could plan some vacation.
Right. In fact, I would dare suggest, Mr. Babushkin, that is one point that you and Anastasia might actually agree on, that the date of a Russian invasion has happened about a dozen times and nothing has happened so far. Mr. Babushkin, let me just ask you, at this juncture, what is the road forward over the next few days? Is it a meeting between Mr. Lavrov and Secretary Blinken? Would that be the first step towards actually getting an idea about whether the presidents will be meeting? Is that what you are personally, for example, looking forward to in order to get an idea of where this is headed?
Russia has always been supportive of dialogue efforts, starting when the Minsk package of measures was adopted in 2015. The very next day, the implementation should have started, but it didn't happen, unfortunately, so well. And all these years, we have no progress at all in the implementation of Minsk agreements.
Right.
So, and dialogue is always important, and we still believe that the dialogue is the only way to resolve the problem. But it should be meaningful. It should be purposeful. So, in response of the Russian proposals for the security guarantees and non-expansion of NATO, we received nothing in terms of any concrete, reaction from the West, in spite of the fact that they keep telling that there is invasion, there is escalation, and so on and so forth. So you don't see any other news coming out from that side, in spite of sitting seriously at the negotiation table and to resolve the red lines, the very serious issues. Because in fact, what happened that during all these recent years, we have seen the expansion of NATO military activities in and around Ukraine. It was a bit purely and openly said that it was anti-Russian in nature. So, and after there was a huge multi-thousand ton supplies of military equipment from NATO, and especially US to Ukraine. That was we have no chance then to come back to the agreements which have been reached 20 years ago.
Right.
About